Hey friends, welcome back to another episode of Chronicles. It's me, Daddy Steve, and today's topic is dealing with trolls and sacrifices. And I'll get in more detail about sacrifices as we go along in this video. But I recently came across these two ideas, obviously while streaming, and I wanted to go in a little bit more detail on how I've been dealing with both of those topics, and hopefully help you along your journey in content creation, whether it be streaming, making videos, posts on social media, what have you. You will run into both of these situations or both of these topics in your journey, and hopefully this will help you be better prepared for these instances and maybe help you not make the same mistakes I've made. So let's jump into it. First thing I want to talk about is dealing with trolls. What is a troll? I think I've discussed this in previous videos, but I'll bring it up again here. Troll is anybody who comes into your community, comes into your channel, comes into your comment section of your videos. They leave comments, they make remarks that are disparaging to you and what you're about, with the intent of causing a reaction or causing chaos within your community or within your chat or within your comments. They don't care what you're about. It's not any type of like critique or ways to help you improve. It is simply just being bad-mannered and ill-mannered and not providing really any good insight. So an example would be like you're garbage and not really providing any additional feedback as to why you think this person is garbage, or I think you are the worst player in the world, or something like along those lines. Like where you just make these really like really high level like negative comments, and you don't really provide feedback into why you came across with those comments. And in my case, I don't mind negative feedback. I actually appreciate the negative feedback oftentimes because it helps me become a better person, because I'm always constantly trying to evolve my content. But as long as the negative feedback is constructive, it is descriptive on what I need to do to improve, and sometimes I'm just not going to agree with the criticism that I receive, because that's not how I want to go with my content creation, which is totally fine. We can agree to disagree, but if you're dealing with the troll, they don't care about any of that. They're not trying to help you out at all. They're just trying to cause chaos. And so the best way I feel with dealing with trolls is to simply delete them from whatever you're doing. It is a waste of time to address it. It is a waste of time to make a big deal out of it. It's a waste of time to post a tweet, if you will, on Twitter about how trolls are so toxic and annoying, and you don't understand them because they don't care. They're not going to read that. And if anything, you're just giving more publicity. So the best thing you can do to deal with the troll is delete, delete, delete. There's a ban button in Twitch. There's a delete comment in YouTube. I'm not sure if you probably could ban people too, but if there's a ban function, use the ban function, whatever social media you're using. Delete whatever comments they're making. Just get them out of your community. You don't need them. If they want to make multiple accounts, let them waste their time making multiple accounts. Just delete and ban every single account that you see. But make sure you do that. But make sure when you're doing this process that you do not show any reaction. If you are neutral and matter of fact and dealing with trolls, then you defeat them and getting a reaction out of you. So for example, in my case, I had a couple trolls come in and start talking shit to me and my wife when we were doing a food tasting stream. And instead of simply stopping the stream, making a big deal about these guys being annoying, I simply just banned them and kept talking. Didn't break pace, didn't break stride with what we were talking about, and just simply banned them as I was going through my food tasting stream. And it was simple as that. You just click the ban button and they're gone. The same, and you don't need to deal with it. There's no reason to deal with it. At the end of the day, you're only going to upset your community if you let that exist in your community for too long. There are other strategies for dealing with it, like you can make an example out of them. Again, you're giving them the publicity they want to, which I don't really necessarily agree with, but that is an option. You can make an example out of them and troll the troll, if you will. I know people do that sometimes, which again, that's your preference, but in my case, I just want to get them out of my chat. I don't want to deal with them. They're not adding any value to the stream, so they're not worth my time. So therefore, you just get rid of them, and that's literally how I deal with it. So let's just recap on that real quick before we move on to the next topic. If you get a troll in your chat or your comment section or anything interacting with you, immediately ban them. But make sure you're able to identify a troll versus someone who is just trying to help you and critique you and critically analyzing your content. Someone who really wants to help you get better and may have negative comments will also be very descriptive. They'll list what you could do to get better, what they don't like. And again, it doesn't necessarily mean you have to agree with them all the time, but there is a difference between a troll and someone just genuinely trying to help you become a better content creator. So make sure you understand that. And like I said, if you get a troll, just ban them. Just get rid of it. Simple as that. Just ban it. There's a button for it. Use it. You'll live happier. You'll waste less time, and you'll have less stress if you just simply ban them. All right, enough about trolls. Let's move on to a topic that I really wanted to get to today that maybe it doesn't get a lot of publicity because I think everybody tries to glorify content creation, and that's called sacrifice. Now, no, we're not sacrificing any type of like creature or anything like that for any religious reasons. I'm talking about self-sacrifice in regards to what you have to do in order to become a content creator or to build a community. Now, this doesn't apply to people that do this extremely casually, have no set schedule, really don't care if their community grows or doesn't, or even cares to have a community. This applies to people who are really trying to dig in, build a community, build something lasting, and something that'll continually grow. Now, if you're one of those people that want a growing community and someone that's passionate about content creation, you really want this to take off, then this conversation is geared towards you. You are going to have to make sacrifices in your life to make sure you're able to pursue your passion. Now, some of those sacrifices may come in the form of lack of sleep. It may come in lack of time to do other activities that you'd like to do. It may mean you see your friends less. It may mean that you are a little bit more stressed out, so you sacrifice some mental health a little bit. There are many things that you sacrifice in pursuit of any passion, so content creation is no exception to that. You are going to lose sleep. You are going to be stressed out. You are going to miss out on things because you're pursuing this passion. And that's why having a schedule, as I said in previous videos, is so important. So that way you can minimize the amount of sacrifice you have to make and enjoy those things on the time that you have scheduled for it. I know schedules are really boring, and I know scheduling seems like a lot of work, but if you want to enjoy everything and still be able to pursue your passion, then you're going to need a schedule eventually. So get with it. The sooner you do it, the better. That's how I live my life, and I'll give you a rundown of like how I do things so you can understand like where I'm coming from with this and what sacrifices I make personally. So I work a full-time job, 40 hours a week, sometimes longer, depending on what we're working on. I have twin daughters. I have a wife, so when I come home, I don't just get to chill and do nothing. Spend time with my wife, spend time with my daughters, get them ready for bed. Obviously, my wife helps me. We get them ready for bed, and then either I am jumping into streaming or I'm hanging out with my wife, depending on the day. And then I go to sleep. And oftentimes, because I don't stream until my daughters are asleep, that means I'm going to stream into the late hours. So like I usually stream until like 1 or 2 a.m. in the morning, and then I have to wake up at 7 a.m. the next day to go to work. So I'm basically getting like 5 to 6 hours of sleep, and sometimes even less than that, depending on how good a stream is. I may even get like 4 or 3 hours of sleep. And again, the sleep schedule is not typical. Sometimes I get more sleep than that. Sometimes I get less. I do take naps sometimes, so it kind of offsets the sleep schedule a little bit. But to give you an idea of the sacrifices I have to make, for one is sleep deprivation. You lose a lot of sleep pursuing streaming, and I feel like I've talked to other people and they have a similar issues in regards to sleep, where you're constantly on and you're constantly wanting to be on, so you can continually grow, because when you're not on, you're not growing, obviously. So the more often you're on, the better chances you are to grow your community. So you constantly just want to be active and on and engaged with your audience. So that means you're gonna lose a little bit of sleep. So if you're used to sleeping like 10, 12 hours a day, and you're really passionate about pursuing streaming and you have other commitments in your life, you're in for a rude awakening. You're gonna have to adjust your schedule. You're gonna have to adjust your lifestyle to fit this passion. And if you're truly passionate about this, you'll make that commitment and you'll do it. Otherwise, you may burn out really fast in streaming or content creation, which happens to a lot of people actually. In addition to sleep, I sacrifice social engagements, and so what that means is I stream on the weekends and a couple weekdays, and my streams are always at night because that's when my daughters are asleep. Again, I don't want to sacrifice the time I have with my daughters, so I make sure I don't stream until they go to sleep. And sometimes my wife goes to the gym at night, so it works out because she's at the gym and my daughters are asleep, so I have nothing to do, so why not stream? That's how I made my schedule out. But when they're awake, I'm not streaming. So that means I cannot stream until they go to sleep. And that means on the weekends, Fridays and Saturdays, when typically people will go out and have a good time, go out to dinner, go out to party, go out to watch a movie, whatever it is, I am here at home streaming when all my friends are and family are out doing your normal weekend activities at night. I'm here streaming. And I've made that sacrifice willingly because I am passionate about this pursuit of creating a community that will thrive. And that's just another sacrifice I have to make in order to achieve those goals. So I'm totally fine with it. I love it, but it's something you have to think about. Like, if your schedule only allows for you to stream at certain times, what are you missing out on when you're streaming at those times? It's something you really have to think about and consider before you jump into it. And it kind of makes me think I should have made the sacrifice video a little sooner, especially in the beginning, because these are things you should be thinking about before you even consider streaming. But maybe you won't discover until after you're streaming, before you know what you're actually missing out on. So that's another thing to think about. Another thing you miss out on is your mental health. Like, I'm not gonna lie, not getting sleep automatically raises your stress level, but then trying to juggle many different aspects of your life responsibilities, it does get pretty hectic sometimes, and it is very like time consuming, obviously. In addition to all the things I told you about earlier, I try to make time to go to the gym at least 3 days a week, and I also take online classes for college because I never finished college, so I'm trying to finish that up. So I have to juggle all those things in addition to being a husband, being a father, and then doing content creation, and then trying to have some minimal social life on the side while maintaining social media accounts and running a Discord community. So you have all these things that you have to keep in mind when you're doing content creation, that it is a never-ending juggle, and it'll only get more crazy the bigger your community grows, and the more success you have with your content creation. So this is only the beginning for me. I can only imagine it'll get more crazy as things pick up, and I'm excited for it and scared at the same time. And in addition to that, you lose because you're stressed out. Obviously, it impacts your mental health. People burn out because they're stressed out. They feel like content creation becomes a job, and I think it goes back to lack of preparation again. If you're not planning out your approach on how you address like your streaming needs and your schedule, then you're going to be all over the place, and you're never going to feel comfortable streaming because you're so worried about all these different things going on. And if you're not worried about all these other things going on, then you're really not committed to those things to begin with. So again, make sure you're thinking about your commitments before you jump into streaming too, and see if you can actually handle it. When I first started streaming, I eased my way into streaming. I only streamed 3 days a week. I did Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and then I added another day. I did that for a few months. I did four days for a few months. And then I added another day after I got used to 4 days, and now I'm at the 5 days, and I think I will keep it at 5 days because I do appreciate having the 2 extra days to recharge and to come back fresh for my streams, and it also gives me time to spend a good amount of my evenings with my wife, and keep her from kicking my butt for ignoring her and not spending time with her. So it's a win-win situation. It lets me recharge the batteries and lets me hang out with the wife. In addition to that, I usually make YouTube videos on those days off too. So I'm not technically not doing anything, but it's less than a stream, which is like 4 to 6 hours on for me. So making a 10-minute video makes a difference. So it's a big difference in time commitment as far as doing it, because obviously the videos aren't like professionally edited, so it doesn't take me like a million hours to create. But anyways, back to the conversation. I'm losing my mental health. I'm losing my sleep. I'm losing my social engagement with friends. And in addition to that, you may start having a lack of I guess drive in your other avenues of your life. So in my case, sometimes it's hard to stay focused at work because you're not really passionate about work like you used to be. And then I'm not working a regular job. I'm actually working a career where I was really happy and I was really gung-ho about pursuing a career opportunity in the corporate life. And the more I jump into streaming, the more I realize that maybe the corporate life wasn't meant for me, and maybe the content creation is more my style, to where I can create something that's in my image and really be proud of that I created on my own. Well, not necessarily created on my own, because again, my community helped create what I have today, so I'm never alone on this, but you know what I mean. I'm my own boss. I create my own future with content creation, where I'm not having to constantly please somebody or play the politics game with somebody in order to make ends meet with my career. So again, it just you become less passionate about other things in your life, especially if your passion with content creation becomes something that you obsess over, or you're extremely like driven to make succeed. It kind of like this, it like drowns out all the other supposed passions in your life. So again, you may lack drive in other areas of your life, and that is a side effect of being addicted or being like obsessed with the act of making content and getting it out there for the world to see. So keep that in mind, guys. I think sacrifice. I could probably talk about sacrifice for forever, but I think that's a good stopping point there for that. In my personal adventure here, if you will, I've lost sleep, I've lost social engagement, I've lost mental health, and I also have lost drive for other areas of my life where maybe I was once passionate about those things, but no longer am passionate because of me finding content creation. So keep that in mind in your journey. Your sacrifices will obviously be different than mine. Some may overlap, some may be completely different, but just know that you will have to make sacrifices to fit this passion into your life. And the best way to minimize those sacrifices and to make them less impactful is to schedule everything. I know I've harped that all night long, but honestly, schedule is life. And if you can get yourself on a schedule, a semi like structured schedule, it'll help you in the long run. Trust me, it's helped me out so much, and it's helped me keep my my sanity with content creations. It's helped me know when to stop with content creation and not overdo it, because that is a thing too. Common side effect where people just become workaholics with content creation and burn out. With the schedule, you prevent yourself from doing that as long as you stay disciplined with your schedule. So schedule. And with that, that's all I have, folks. Thank you so much for stopping by today. If you enjoyed the video today or liked any of my other videos, make sure you comment down below, subscribe, and hit that like button, and tell a friend. I would appreciate you guys at least tell like one friend about the video series. Let them know where to find me. I would appreciate that. We really are trying to grow the YouTube channel, and I am on Twitch, twitch.tv/daddysteve. I stream Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday at 9:30 p.m. Pacific time. Mostly stream League of Legends, and Mondays we just mix it up and play random games. I would love to see you guys on the stream as well. And let me know if you find me on YouTube. I would love to see where my audience comes from. If anybody is coming over from the YouTube world, I would love to know that you guys found me through YouTube. That'd be awesome. All right. Well, that's it, guys. I love you guys. I'll catch you later. Thanks for stopping by. Peace.